Consider the profound emotional journey women experience when you vanish from their lives. No messages, no phone calls, no interaction. In a society where people often overlook others, let's change the narrative. Step away, and I assure you, their reality will transform in ways they never anticipated. If you've ever felt like someone regarded you as insignificant, this message is for you. Today, we're exploring a significant truth: how they genuinely feel when you exit their life. We'll examine 10 powerful emotional stages they encounter when you leave, and by the end of this video, you'll grasp why silence can be the most impactful response. No justifications, no opportunities for reconciliation, just leaving. If you're prepared to reclaim your value and make them truly feel your absence, comment below. I'm done being an option. After this, you won't be seen as one again. And stay with us until the end. There's a special 10th emotional stage you won't want to overlook. If you're committed to altering their perception of you permanently, watch this video in its entirety. Let's begin. The initial phase is the pain of rejection. This is where it all starts. They never genuinely anticipated your absence. In their perspective, you were always meant to be present, the one who cared, who organized, who invested effort. You were their anchor, their source of security. Until you weren't. When you disappear, it's like delivering an unexpected wake-up call. You may have heard the phrase, "You don't realize what you have until it's gone." That's precisely what unfolds. Your absence signifies more than just your physical non-existence. It removes everything you stood for: the reassurance, the affirmation, the stability. And that's when it truly hurts. However, this isn't merely a superficial rejection. It runs deep because, for the first time, they understand they never had power over you. People often think they can treat someone as a secondary option without repercussions. They believe you will always be there, regardless of how little they invest in return. When you take a step back and remove your support, panic begins to set in. They find themselves in free fall, questioning how they allowed this to happen and where they lost control. The pain of rejection is most intense when they have taken you for granted, believing your presence was a given. They might have even thought they were doing you a favor by keeping you around. The truth is, you were the one holding everything together. They weren't contributing anything meaningful. You were the backbone of the situation. To make them truly feel the impact of your absence, don't give them any warnings. No farewells, no ultimatums, no pleas for their attention. Just leave. Disappear from their lives. The silence will resonate more deeply than any words could. Your absence will force them to reflect on their behavior, signaling that you will no longer tolerate disrespect. And as you walk away, don't look back. Allow them to grapple with the consequences of losing someone they never should have undervalued. The second stage is the emptiness of missing you. This is where it becomes intriguing. Once the pain of rejection subsides, a deeper sense of void takes over. They never imagined they would miss you, did they? They likely reassured themselves that your absence wouldn't affect them. If they go, I'll just carry on, they thought. But what occurs when you truly vanish? They begin to experience the emptiness, and it's not just any emptiness. It's the kind that lingers, making even the simplest moments feel insignificant. They continue with their daily routines, engaging in the same activities as before, yet something is absent. They suddenly come to the realization that you were the one who added significance to their life. You provided the energy, the warmth, the emotional balance. Without you, everything seems dull. When people take someone for granted, they view them as a mere background presence, easily replaceable. But the truth hits hard when they realize that no one else can offer what you did. They may attempt to replace what they've lost by seeking out new relationships, spending time with friends, or immersing themselves in work. Yet, regardless of their efforts, that sense of emptiness remains. It shadows them, a constant reminder of their loss. Ironically, they failed to value you when you were present. Perhaps they believed they could find someone better or thought you would always be around. But once you're gone, their viewpoint changes. They begin to miss the little things, the talks, the laughter, the way you made them feel understood. To ensure they truly feel this absence, cut off all contact. Block them. Erase their number. Make it impossible for them to casually check in on you. Each time they reach out and find nothing, the emptiness deepens. Each search for you that yields no results reinforces the truth. You are really gone. Allow them to sit with that void. Let them confront their loss, because people often don't recognize the value of what they have until it's lost. When you leave, you don't just vanish. You create a void that no one else can fill. The third stage is marked by intense curiosity. At this point, the emptiness has taken hold, and a sense of desperation begins to emerge. Curiosity becomes all-consuming and unyielding. The primary questions that plague them are, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? They become fixated on uncovering details about your life, because, for the first time, they are cut off from you. You have turned into a puzzle, and nothing is more disconcerting than being excluded by someone they once had influence over. In today's social media landscape, this stage intensifies. They will scour your Instagram, monitor your Facebook, and browse through your TikTok, searching any platform for hints about your life. But here's the twist. You've gone completely silent. No posts, no stories, no updates, nothing at all. This drives them to the brink. Why? Because people are inherently uncomfortable with uncertainty. As soon as you disappear, their minds spiral with questions. Have they moved on? Are they with someone new? Are they genuinely happier without me? Unable to cope with the lack of information, they become obsessed with finding answers. They will sift through past chats, browse your tagged images, and even contact mutual acquaintances to gather information. The unfortunate truth is that they will never acknowledge their concern. They'll pose vague questions and act as if they're merely interested, but in reality, they are longing for insight into your life. Curiosity can be a strong force. When someone is unable to find the answers they seek, their imagination fills in the blanks. Often, they jump to negative conclusions. You're flourishing without them. They envision you with someone new, picturing you happy, evolving, and shining in your absence. That idea gnaws at them. What begins as simple curiosity can quickly turn into an obsession. This is where you have the upper hand. The less they know, the more they crave knowledge. You transform into the one thing they can't stop contemplating. So, what should you do? Become invisible. Completely disappear from their view. No updates, no clues, no traces. Allow them to wonder. Let them check their phone repeatedly only to find nothing. With each unsuccessful attempt to reach you, they will delve deeper into their own thoughts, insecurities, and regrets. You don't owe them any explanations. Offer them silence. That alone will inflict more damage than any words could. The fourth stage involves intense self-reflection. This is where things get tricky for them. It marks the beginning of their introspection, and it can be quite uncomfortable. After spending days or even weeks fixating on their situation, their attention turns inward. That's when the tough questions arise. Was I too aloof? Was I too unfeeling? Did I drive them away? Did I ruin this? Regret starts to settle in, and it's a difficult realization. The truth is, people often struggle to acknowledge their mistakes. It's part of human nature to evade responsibility, rationalize their choices, and act as if nothing went wrong. However, when you're no longer present, they are compelled to face the reality, and there's no way to avoid it. Without your presence to provide comfort, resolve issues, or mitigate their emotional distance, they are left to scrutinize their own actions. It's not a pleasant process. Suddenly, every interaction replays in their thoughts. The moments they overlooked your messages, invalidated your feelings, or treated you as an afterthought. And now, the weight of it all hits them hard. Deep down, they come to understand that they had something valuable, but they took it for granted. This phase is particularly impactful because it occurs within them. They can no longer place blame on you. You're not there. There's no one to dispute with, no justifications to rely on. The only person they can hold accountable is themselves, and that realization can be quite painful. As time passes, their introspection intensifies. The more they reflect on the past, the more evident it becomes. They made mistakes. The guilt accumulates, gnawing at them, leading them to wish they could turn back time, rectify their actions, and reverse the harm done. But at this point, it's too late. Your next step is to do nothing. Avoid reaching out. Don't feel the need to explain yourself. Don't attempt to make them recognize their mistakes. Allow them to come to their own conclusions. True self-reflection is most effective when it's internal. The longer they confront that guilt, the more profound the lesson becomes. Let them experience it. Let them dwell in their remorse. Because once they understand that they were the cause of the breakdown, that's when the real pain starts. The fifth stage involves their desire to win you back. After a period of introspection, a change occurs within them. They transition from self-doubt to a strong longing for your presence. The dynamics have shifted. You were the one who cared deeply, who initiated contact, and who invested effort. Now it's their turn to act. Suddenly, thoughts of you dominate their mind. They feel an irresistible pull to reach out. The most pressing question looms. Is it too late to fix this? This marks the beginning of their pursuit. They might start with subtle hints like, "I've been thinking about you," or liking an old post on social media. They may leave a comment just to gauge your reaction or send a late-night message after a few drinks, hoping to revive what was lost. They have moved from taking you for granted to desperately wanting you back. At this point, you hold all the leverage. Here's the crucial point. You don't have to reply. In fact, it's better if you don't. Allow them to experience the urgency of their feelings. Let them question whether you've moved on. The more they chase, the more they recognize their loss of control, which drives them to distraction. Your silence is your most powerful weapon. If you respond, you hand the power back to them. After all the effort you've put in, why would you want to do that? Let them pursue you, but don't reward their attempts. Make them feel the frustration of desiring something that is no longer within their reach. We've explored the first 5 stages of 10 emotional stages women go through when you leave. But this is only half the picture. In the next part, we'll dive into the remaining 5 stages to help you gain a deeper understanding of their behavior. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the continuation.